So today's appreciation watch is my second assembly watch, and I affectionately call this a JK Rolly. JK because my first name is Joe, my wife's first name is Kelly, and years ago she created this symbol which I have had custom applied to this dial, or I had the dial made with this symbol at the very top below the triangle marker. It's a J and a K symbol. She created it for a pool table at our house 25 years ago, and we both have it tattooed on parts of our body. So I had this put on a custom dial from a company named Bliger on AliExpress that also sells this exact watch, which is clearly a Rolex homage with the Mercedes hands. I think maybe GMT-Master II would be the closest, but I don't think Rolex makes it in blue. So for anyone who's uncomfortable with a copy or a clonage, I think this would be a really reasonable homage situation because you're never going to see this. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. That being said, I love this watch and the three others I had made from this company, or had the custom dials made, send me the parts to assemble it. Now, I've mentioned before that if you have all the stuff sent from one company that assembles them, clearly it'll go together. So you're not going to have any risk or problems where the movement's not going to fit with the case and the dial and all that stuff. That being said, you could also skip the part where you assemble it. But I think it's very personal when you have that assembly. So you could have this made, custom dial delivered. There's lots of that stuff on AliExpress. You can find it, probably other companies and places too. That's just where I tend to shop. But let me tell you about the specs on this watch and then why this has been such a good experience for me and why I love this watch. Because the assembly of the first watch I made, it just felt like a whole huge accomplishment. And while that's similar here, this one I picked up because I didn't know what I like. Again, most of my watches that I've bought in this first year are to learn about what I like, to consider whether I would spend serious money. Now we're talking Rolex dollars on a watch. Could I spend that? Sure. Would I spend that? Maybe not. And I have a lot of reasons for it. One is I live on a farm property in Florida. And so I'm typically out and about doing stuff that would otherwise damage this watch, or I would never put a watch like that on. The other is I travel a lot and I plan to increase that travel a ton, which represents two very significant problems. One, theft. If I'm traveling more luxury or in a major city in the world, I would consider this being stolen either off of me, right, robbery, or from a hotel or wherever. So I'm constantly worried about where it's locked up and what. And so now I've got a whole fear in my travel. The other is having traveled to parts of the world where clones are everywhere. The main reason it may never get stolen is everyone, and I mean everyone, will assume it's fake. Even at a distance, even though I have this JK on there, if this was a colorway that matched the Rolex GMT, it would just be assumed it's fake. So I'm going to spend $8, $9, $10, $20,000. There's a Wimbledon. I have a Wimbledon version that I had made, the Rolex Wimbledon colorway that I absolutely love. But why would I spend $16,000 probably being treated like kind of garbage at a Rolex AD to try and get one without a relationship, only to worry about it being stolen, only to never wear it? That's crazy to me. Does it mean I'll never buy the real deal or buy a special watch? No, if I settle at some point and I'm no longer traveling and I want the real watch, I'll buy the real watch. It's fine. I don't lament anyone who buys the real watch, but I would never, ever, ever judge someone for custom making a watch like I did or buying a similar homage watch to what they like. Maybe don't buy the fakes. That's a thing. I don't care. The watch industry is batshit crazy in pricing, so You can take that for what it's worth. I wouldn't necessarily just buy a $200 watch or even assemble a $200 watch if I could buy it for $1,000. I would feel much more comfortable buying the real watch because that's a price point that if I had it damaged or stolen, yeah, I might not replace it right away, but I wouldn't feel bad about it. You get to 6,000 and up, I just don't know the point. I'm not sure there's a point for me. Anyway, let's talk about the specs here. So again, I bought this from a company called Bliger, B-L-I-G-E-R, on AliExpress. And they make clonages and homages. They put their name on it and they sell it with no name, or you can have custom dials on there. So again, this is a personality choice. How do you feel about watches? How do you feel about specs? But what I'll tell you is the specs on this are pretty damn good. So again, here's my SketchUp with all my little details, SketchUp details and notes that I do. I don't think I showed the last couple. So there was my, I was pretty happy with how that Raketa came out. I think you can get a good shot of that, let's say, with the Antarctica, and then my Monaco SketchUp, knockoff Monaco SketchUp. So, all right, anyway, that's the JK Rolly SketchUp with the specs. So here you go. Japanese NH34 movement display case on the back, exhibition case, sorry, on the back. 10 bar, 100 meter, again, $150 watch. Do I want to damage it? Absolutely not. Will I jump in the pool? 100 times out of 100, if there's a question of whether I want to jump in the pool with this watch, I'm going in the pool with this watch. Like, yeah, it's 10 bars, so it's perfectly fine. But if it wasn't perfectly seated because I'm the one who assembled it, maybe it's not perfectly set. Again, I wouldn't lose an ounce of sleep. I would just literally reach out to this vendor and say, send me this watch. I'd probably say just send it pre-assembled. I wouldn't even necessarily reassemble the thing. But sapphire crystal, ceramic 60-click bezel that is tight and sounds wonderful. Oh, love it. I think it's 60-click. Yeah. Let's see, what else? So, dimensions. 40 millimeter case size, 43 and change with the crown, 13.1 thick. It says 13.5 on this stuff I had sent to me. I'm assuming that's because of the Cyclops. It does have a Cyclops that I do believe is 2.5, which is consistent with the Rolex specs, magnification. And then the bracelet. Let's talk about the bracelet. So I've already beat this thing up pretty good. And Bliger is really cool. If I do any of the other ones or I show the other watches that I had made, they will put this tattoo. They'll put whatever your dial icon, depending on the size, right on the crown as well. So I have my JK tattoo on the crown as well on the dial. That's kind of fun. But you can see this is a Mercedes hands Rolex copy or clonage. Oh, sorry, I was talking about the bracelet. So Jubilee style bracelet, stainless steel. Sure, it's not super high quality at the price point, but what it is a fold over clasp with a adjustable on the fly slide lock. So this watch, I don't ever suffer because I wear watches quite loose from the swelling issues that I know people have. But if you do, this watch comes with the slide lock. So there you go, 140 grams. She is heavy, but yeah, it's an incredibly well-spec'd watch for very, very inexpensive. And I believe because Rolex doesn't make this blue, maybe people would be more comfortable with it. I didn't care at all. I bought the blue because I thought it would look good with my tattoos, and it does look good with my tattoos. So again, this is my second assembly. I have since made 3 more, 2 more Rolex style. The others are actually much closer to Rolex style. So the Wimbledon style, a Sky Dweller, which to me looks like a PRX, which I'm sure is all clone. They're all homages or clones of somebody else's watch. I don't think that was a Rolex original. But regardless, my tattoos on that. The Wimbledon has my last name in cursive, And lastly, oh, very famous baby blue or crystal blue, burgundy chronograph, Cosmograph Daytona. So it's a very, very popular watch, both in clones and copies and homages. But I'm not going to spend $70,000 on a watch. I think you can get it for 30, and then the platinum 70,000. Never going to spend it. Wanted to see what it looked like on my wrist. Got it with my tattoo. Bob's your uncle. I also had Bliger. I actually just sent them some watches that I liked and said, can you make me something similar so I can make a gift watch? Here's what I want on the dial. And he brought back some images that are not exact copies of anybody else with leather bracelets and stuff. Sent me all the pieces. I was able to assemble those and record the assembly, especially fighting with the seconds hand on one of the watches. And so I have that to gift a friend, a good friend. Oh, and I was able to gift a North Edge today, a Triton, because I have 2 Tritons, and the black one I wasn't going to wear. And so a guy who's been helping me out at my house for a few years now after I injured my back, and still comes help me load stuff in the barn into a dumpster today. I was able to hook him up with the Triton. So it's been a pretty great week. Pretty really fun time enjoying these watches and now getting to share some of these watches. So I hope you're appreciating your watches. I'm certainly going to appreciate this for the rest of today and pick something else out for tomorrow. All right, take care.